I don't know about you, Mike. Sometimes when listening to black metal, do you ever feel that you kind of wish that there was a bit of gabber infused?
Not sometimes, all the time.
Well, lucky for you,
Yeah.
today we are talking Polrehexse, probably butchered that, with the debut Poldersabbat. This is like Keller, I guess Keller synth, like raw hardcore dance hardcore, not punk hardcore infused dungeon synth slash black metal, right?
Do you know, I have to say, when I was listening to this today, I was looking at some of the tags on Bandcamp, and there was a few different genres
Hmm.
that was on there that I hadn't heard of before. So I was looking them up.
Yeah.
Um, and it seems like from what I've read about them, this really does seem like a mix of all these ones that they've mentioned. So there was one called like Hex and Gabber,
Hexen
which is Hex and Gabber, which I think is, I can't remember what nationality it's from, but I think Hexa means witch. So
Yeah.
it's like witch Gabber. And then he's got that whole witch house thing as well, which was
Yep.
a thing I think about 10 years ago, maybe. And then Keller Synth, Dungeon Synth. There's that raw black metal vibe in there as well. There's a lot going on. It's a very different release for us to cover, but I thought it was a really interesting one for us to talk about.
Yeah. So we normally on this channel cover just kind of more like raw underground black metal, but we're like fans of dungeon synth as well, but we find that it's not really the channel necessarily to talk about dungeon synth on. Maybe it would be, maybe there'll be an audience for that. Let us know. But this, I feel this bridges that gap whilst introducing something completely new. I mean, it's not new. Keller synth's been around for quite some time, but
Yeah, but even so,
new
is
for our
this
channel.
yeah, but is this not is this new for the whole Keller synth genre as well?
I
I feel like it's got a few things going on in there,
I
you know?
don't know. A lot of it does remind me of what Warlock Corpse was doing with Culturists. There was that kind of like gabber, raw black metal sound going on. A lot of
I think this is better.
Do you? I think this
Mm.
is. I think this is. I mean, we're not comparing, Mike, but yeah, I think this is. The lead lines in this are fucking cool, aren't they? Let's talk about some of the
Yeah.
melodies in this. So, the overall there's melodies in every track that are quite unique, but I think they lean quite into like a whimsical aspect, don't
Yeah.
they? There's like a intricate, delicate, dare I say, feel to the leads that if you kind of heard them without that kind of like harsh like
Yeah.
backing, it would be quite a good, like a serene bit of dungeon synth.
Yeah, you're right. It's really interesting how they kind of cut through when what you hear kind of in the back is a lot more often harsher sounding,
Yeah.
and a lot darker. And what they do on this, which I find really interesting, is it feels like a real mix of past and future, in the sense that you get that sort of dungeon synth, ye oldie, whimsical, medieval melody in there,
Yeah.
but then you get the beats and some of the bass and things like that kind of gives you this more dystopian cyberpunk kind of future
Yeah.
mixed in there, and they have it all kind of going off together then with these like blackened raw vocals over the top. It's a really interesting sound, and I have to say, I thought this was excellent. I had such a good time listening to this.
I did as well. So like normally this isn't my kind of thing. I've only had a very small like
Yeah, same. I've got
yeah.
nothing really to compare this to.
One thing that came to mind was something we covered on a previous. There was that Mysterium Xerxes with was it the last track on that was like a cover? Was it Mysterium Xerxes?
Our Daydroff.
Daydroff, that's right. And
Yeah.
the last track on that was like a kind of dance infused remix. And
And that was great
yeah,
as
we were
well.
both loving it, weren't we? So
Yeah.
it's actually no surprise that this is kind of up our street. This is this isn't going to be for everyone. Let's just kind of throw that one out there.
No, but I think if you're into electronic music, I don't think you even need to necessarily be into dance music, because I'm not really. It's
No.
not really my sort of thing. But I just think the way this is executed, and the way, for me, it's using kind of dance beat energy, if you know what I mean,
Mhm.
over this kind of harsh synth that you said, it's got these like whimsical melody lines. You've got those blackened vocals as well. It sort of keeps that almost black metal energy,
Yeah.
but totally different approach to how it's pulled off.
Yeah, because it's like some black metal is so raw and so harsh to listen to that
Mm,
this is the same, but from a completely different aspect. Like you say, it's that just
yeah,
that pounding, relentless, like bass, or also or sometimes like you've got those claps as well that kind of cut through the
yeah,
mix as well that are really cool. The vocals as well are really cool. They're that more like spoken,
mm.
evil kind of black metal vocal going on rather than like a shriek, but it marries up with the instrumentation really well. So I guess.
It
Oh, go on, Mike.
Yeah, no, no, it does. But I was going to say, what I did actually think, I know you said about the sort of like relentless beats and stuff, which does happen in places. I did think that this did variate the types of paces a bit and the beats that they were using as well. They did feel like quite a mixture
Yeah, true.
of that in there, and like I have to say, when I listen to this, flies by for me. Like
Yeah.
it's and I've got that immediate want to listen to it again factor with it.
I do. Yeah, you're right. There's I think one thing that it really helps out is like each track, not each track, but tracks 2 and 3, maybe even 4, they have like almost a minute of like instrumentation without
They
that
do,
kind of
yeah.
like relentless stuff going on that does give you a bit of a respite, and I guess weaves in that kind of more dungeon synth feel rather than like being this Keller synth over the top sound. Um, did you have a standout song, Mike, out of these?
Probably, I had a couple that I mean, I actually really liked all of this. I really did, but probably the two that stand out. Maybe track two.
Yeah.
I thought that one had the. I thought the melodies in that was so catchy, so good. Um, and maybe track five, which was maybe the most straight up. It wasn't as full on, if you know what I mean. But I really just liked the vibe of it. That I thought that one married up with really well the kind of whimsy with the almost had this like kind of sci-fi sort of vibe to the music as well. I thought it was a bit 80s in that sense. You know what I mean? That kind
It's
of
interesting you say that because I with track 5, Beethovering,
mm,
I found that there was like a real late 90s dance aspect to
okay.
it. So the main lead line in it was giving me like not exactly like, but you know, like Robert Childs, that kind of that.
I thought you could say like
So,
Sandstorm or
no, no, not that kind, but you know, like it was like
yeah.
Faithless or Robert Childs, that
Yeah,
kind
I
of,
know what you mean. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that 90s dance. I was getting that from that. So
What I did think track 5 was maybe the most palatable track on the album, maybe the easiest one to listen to.
yeah, probably right. In terms of like, if you were to give this to someone completely new to any of this, do you mean, or just
Yeah, I think that in that sense, yeah, I think that's the one I'd lead with
y-
out of the 5
yeah,
of them,
yeah.
yeah.
But then to jump back to track 2, Michael, I'm in agreement with you on that one. That was also my standout. It was the flute, like the flute,
Yeah,
but there was like a lead line that was sounded like a flute that came in around 1 minute 15. It was so cool. It was like really whimsical, really intricate, but
yeah,
against that kind of like harsh clapping that was continuously going on. It was really cool,
yeah.
and there was really great tempo changes in that song that were just great.
I feel like there was 2 I feel like there was 2 really good melodies in that one. There was the one that when it comes in straight away, and then a little bit later it does one that's, like, even more intricate. I don't know which one you're talking about. There's sort of 2. I don't wanna say one about a bit of a Middle Eastern flair to it, but it was very complex, if you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
yeah. I know what you mean. I mean, yeah, both lead lines I'm talking about. To be fair, they did
Mm.
have that kind of intricacy going towards it.
Yeah.
And then, Mike, I want to talk about track 3 quickly as well. There was again, it was like a minute or so of respite, just like a bit more serene, a bit calmer. Then you had this outrageous drum fill of just like
It was
drum.
like a black metal sort of thing,
It's like
wasn't it? It almost sounded like it was gonna go into a black metal
it
track.
did, yeah, but but it also reminded me a bit grindcore as well. Like it was like
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
was pure drum machine, like just snare going crazy,
Yeah.
cranked up. But I thought that song was really cool as well because it lent more into like it actually went a little bit darker and felt a
Mm.
bit more like a kind of hardcore um focused song. When I say hardcore, again, I mean dance, not punk, but it
Yeah,
was
it
leaning
had
into
the
that,
I
yeah,
yeah.
more gabber kind of sound rather
Yeah,
than.
it was relentless. It was that relentless kind of beat, wasn't it? More so than the other stuff on the release.
Yeah.
Is this an album or an it? What is this classified? Is it
I
specified?
don't know. I don't know. It's always a contentious one on this show. I'm just going
Uh,
to call it a release.
Release.
Look, it was great doing this because it was just very different, but definitely falls into that. that kind of black metal umbrella. Are you going to kind of not go out of your way, but maybe explore this genre a little bit more, Mike?
I want to actually. I was going to say, can if people know this stuff in the comments, let us know because I want some recommendations
Yeah, yeah, same.
because I really like this. This is one of my favorite things I've heard in a while. I've really,
Really?
really enjoyed it. Yeah,
Damn,
it
that's
just
high
felt
praise.
different. I haven't listened to anything that sounds like quite like this. I have heard that culture thing, and I didn't massively get on with it.
Mm.
But I did connect more with this. There was some more stuff about this I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I think this leans more into that kind of dungeon synth, whimsical aspect rather than, I think
Mm,
Culturist is a bit more like rave, gabber
yeah.
heavy, whereas this kind of flirts with a bit more, like you said at the start, a bit more genre bending, shall we say?
Well, this really, despite how different it is in a way, like this feels very suiting to the sort of black metal scene. Like it really feels like it fits in there perfectly, even though it's very different.
Yeah, it does. It does. Do you think that's somewhat to do with aesthetics as well of the cover and stuff?
Yeah, of course it is. It's that's all kind of part of it anyway. But I just well, and actually, it kind of makes the sort of complete package on the of this release as well because you got that visual to go with it and it suits it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, if you have got to this point in this video, thanks for sticking around. Give a like; it does help us out a lot. We just like to talk about music that we kind of find interesting and feels fits that kind of weird underground black metal space. Give us a subscribe if you do like it. We put videos every Wednesday and Friday. Let us know if you did check this one out and if there's anything within this space that kind of is a similar vibe that we should check out because I think we're both kind of keen to see what else is out there. But
Mm.
yeah, thank you, and we'll hopefully catch you in the next one.